Meanwhile, let's bring in the senator with 6 fresh years now in Washington after winning in South Carolina again. He's chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee for now, but if he's going to be moving on, even if the Republicans hold on to the Senate for another day. First off, what do you expect? What do you expect right now with this Georgia Senate race? Do you look at this as a flat-footed tie?
In Georgia, what's going on in Georgia? Yeah. Is that your question?
Yep.
Well, here's what I think. The way you verify a signature in Georgia is not multifaceted. I was on the phone a week ago today talking to the Secretary of State of Georgia about how do you verify a mail-in ballot signature.
Right.
We never talked about him throwing out ballots. We talked about how would you challenge a signature in Georgia.
He said you were trying to tell him to he said you wanted to throw ballots away.
I was talking. Yeah, I can't explain this guy. I can't explain what makes him tick. I never suggested that he do anything. We're talking about court cases. They had a 3.5% rejection rate in the last election. You know what the ballot rejection rate for signatures was in this election? 0.3%. Well, 4 times more ballots. Something's rotten in Denmark. Here's what's happened. They've entered into a consent decree the Secretary of State did with Stacey Abrams that's really polluted the database that you would compare a signature to. They failed to take people off the rolls that are not eligible to vote. He got conned into signing a consent decree that's bad for Georgia's election system. I hope the Trump campaign will try to set aside the consent decree, but here's what your listeners need to know. To verify a signature on a mail-in ballot in Georgia, you need one single person. It is not bipartisan. It's done in an election office by a single individual, and whatever agenda they have, that's what happens. There's a reason that the ballots have gone through in this election with a 0.3% rejection rate, because the system's set up to send them through, and I hope Trump will go to court and challenge that system before it's too late for Perdue and Ossoff and him.
Right, and it's so complicated now, Senator, as you know, because the ballot has been separated from the secrecy envelope from the actual envelope where they signed the outside of. So, you know, it's just a mess. I know.
That's what the conversation was about. Bob Smith, I don't know, is the signature of Bob Smith the real Bob Smith, or is it a forged Bob Smith signature?
Then where's his ballot?
We don't even need to know how Bob Smith voted. We don't even need to know how he voted, but if we can prove that the mail-in ballot system had a fraudulent component to it, then a judge could come up with a remedy. The difference between 0.3% and 3.5% rejection rate, I think, is 39,000 ballots, which is more than enough to make up the difference that the president is behind. This is a big deal. Liberals don't want me talking about it. Nobody wants me to ask about it. They're trying to shut me down. They're trying to get Trump to concede. They don't want any court cases. When Stacey Abrams challenged the results in Georgia, she was an American hero. When Donald Trump's going to court, he's a dictator. I'm tired of this crap. We're going to fight back in Georgia. We're going to fight back everywhere. I'm not going to resign. I'm going to stay in the Senate and kill the most radical agenda in the world coming from the squad. I'll work with Democrats when it makes sense. But I'm tired of having the liberal media and liberals try to shut down conservative challenges to systems that need to be challenged.
Well, you're a lawyer. You're asking good questions. And to your point about liberals, let's see. Ilhan Omar's called for you to resign. Rashida Tlaib says you got to get out. And Congresswoman Jayapal says you need to go as well. So if they're calling on you to resign, what do you have to say to them?
You stay in your lane. I could understand why you want me out of the Senate, because I'm going to bury your agenda. You're the most radical people in the history of American politics. You're anti-Semitic when it comes to Israel. You're a bunch of socialists. You would transform America to make it Venezuela. I'm going to stand in your way. I can understand why you don't want me in the Senate, but I'm not going anywhere. I will work with rational Democrats. You're not rational, and it's all about Georgia. They want to steal Georgia. They will do anything they can. Stacey Abrams is inviting people from California to move to Georgia. She said this openly, so we can win these 2 Senate seats. This is insane. They don't want to verify signatures. They want to pass them through. Help me help Georgia. LindseyGraham.com. You send money to my website. It goes to Purdue. It goes to Ossoff. She's raised $6 million, Stacey Abrams. Stacey Abrams is trying to take over the election system. She conned the Secretary of State into a consent decree. That's bad for the Georgia election system. I'm glad Trump is fighting back, and I'm going to fight with him. LindseyGraham.com. Let's win these 2 Senate seats. Let's make the squad's life miserable by holding on to the Senate. Let's tell Senator Schumer you're not going to run the place by keeping the 2 Georgia Senate seats Republican.
Yeah, by signing that decree, it allowed for 2 different types of standards for elections. The mail-in ballots, the signature is totally different than people who win in person, and most Republicans win in person. So I continue to fight there. So AOC, this AOC Link group, it's called, what's the name of the group, guys?
New Consensus.
Y'all know it. What's it?
New Consensus.
The Consensus. Okay, so... All right, so this new group has sent out a memo, and they sent it to Joe Biden's transition team, and it's run by AOC's former chief of staff. And they're basically saying, move forward with our economic agenda, and don't worry about the Senate. We can do it with or without the Senate. Is that possible?
In their world, they believe it is. In our Constitution, no. See, what do they want to do? They want to change the rules to get their way. A dictator is a conservative fighting for their cause, standing up for their rights. A freedom fighter is a liberal trying to break the rules to get an outcome. So they want to pack the court. They want to change the Electoral College so New York and California can pick the president. They want to use executive orders to neutralize a Republican-controlled Senate. They want to take these 2 seats in Georgia and put them in the Democratic column so Schumer will run the place. But as a backup plan, if they lose in Georgia, which I hope they do, they're trying to come up with a scheme to neutralize the Republican Senate contrary to the constitutional checks and balances. Liberals want outcomes. They don't give a damn if they have to destroy Brett Kavanaugh's life to keep the seat open. They will. There are no rules when it comes to their agenda. All they want is outcomes, and I hope America understands that the radical element in the House would transform America to get outcomes. They don't care the Senate is in Republican hands. They're trying to work around the constitutional checks and balances set up by our founding fathers. These people will transform America. You will not even know the country you were born in. We got to win these 2 seats in Georgia. LindseyGraham.com. Every penny goes over to help the Georgia races. I'm going to Georgia. Ground zero for democracy is Georgia. Don't let the liberal left and the media intimidate conservatives. I've had it with the media. They come after me every day. Every time I wake up, I get an ethics complaint filed against me by some liberal group out there. It's not going to work. I'm not going to shut up. I'm not going to resign. I'm going to fight. And I'm going to fight in Georgia, and you need to fight with me in Georgia. Help these 2 candidates in Georgia.
And by the way, the problem in Georgia, this is a Republican, so I don't know what his problem is, but he seems to be off the reservation of logic. Senator, thanks so much for getting up with us. You're fired up. Don't peak too early. You have a big day ahead of you.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, exactly.
Happy Thanksgiving.
You too.